Now, getting it back out of that mode is actually a little bit difficult. And at first I thought there was something wrong with my gun until I checked another Browning Medalist and had the same trouble. But typically what I do is I leave it in the up position or after I've pulled the trigger, and I kind of have to use 2 fingers and push it straight back this way. So hopefully I'll be able to do it here on camera, but it's a little hard. And there we go. So at first I was a little bit afraid to force it, because although parts are still available for these guns, you wouldn't want to bend something or mess something up when you didn't have to. Now the first 2 times I got it into that position, I was unable to get it back out, because like I said, I was afraid to push it, I was afraid to force it. So I had to take off this big grip, this big target grip, which comes off at a very specific angle, by the way. If you take it off at the wrong angle, you can actually chip the wood in a couple spots, so you have to be careful. So anyhow, I took that off and I looked at the mechanism, I inspected it, and took kind of a careful account of everything. And once I saw that it was okay to push on that, I did push it back. But I had to do that twice, so don't feel bad if you have a Medalist and it took you a couple times. Actually, it probably won't take you guys any time. I'm kind of a meathead sometimes. So anyhow, I was able to figure that out, and now I no longer have problems. But what else was I going to cover? Oh, the barrel length. The barrel length on the standard Medalist is 6 3/4 inches long, and you can see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vents in it. Now, when you go to the International Medalist or the International Medalist barrel, I believe it's 5 3/4, and instead of 5 vents, you have 4 vents up here, which, it doesn't have anything to do with the function, obviously, but it is an easy way to pick out a international type barrel. And I'm not sure if that was for regulation purposes or whatever, that was the max barrel length allowed, but you'll probably see those on Gun Broker or Guns America if you guys start looking for these. So the real special thing about these guns to me is if you try to duplicate something like this with the amount of handwork and hand finishing and high polished blue, and the wood, the fit and finish of these parts, it would probably cost $3,000 just to manufacture something like this today. But the nice thing is you can pick these up used with a little bit of wear on them for about $850 or so. Yes, it's still expensive, but if you compare that to any 1911 pistol or a Kimber or a Springfield, one of their higher line models, all of those cost more than an old school gun craft type of firearm like this. Just the fitting and everything. You can see how the wood is inletted there and how tight everything is. Everything's super high polished everywhere you look on this gun. So just a lot of work. So how did I get into this Medalist, or what caught my interest about this? Well, this is obviously a target pistol, a later version of the Browning Nomad and the Browning Challenger. This has the extra feature, of course, for dry firing, and has the target grips and everything like that, but the action is essentially the same as this other pistol here. Got the original case for it. And this is the Browning Challenger. So what is so neat about this gun for me personally, not this exact gun, but one exactly like it, which is a 4.5-inch barrel, is this is the first gun that I ever shot. So I was about 5 or 5.5 years old in Sedona, Arizona, shooting this gun with my dad standing behind me, right behind my back, kind of holding my arms, guiding my arms from behind, and I had a big smile on my face, and I've been a shooter ever since. So this is a 1975 gun, and again, I won't show you the whole serial number, but I will show you that it ends in a U75, and that means that this is a 1975 pistol. Now, the first year of the Browning Challenger was 1962, if I remember correctly. So by the time they got up into the 75 and 76 were the last years this was made. So this is kind of the ultimate evolution of it. And although the lower serial numbers are collectible in their own right back in the 60s, they weren't quite finished as nicely as this gun. And you'll see tiny nuances, little changes between the earlier guns versus the later ones, including this stepped up sight block here. Instead of this blade going all the way down to the barrel itself, the later guns had a stepped block. I'm talking about this section here that goes back on top of the barrel. And it's a more modern design, and it's a little bit classier, instead of just having one huge blade sticking up front. Of course, it has to be stepped because the barrel is stepped down, and it has to come back up to be at the same height as the rear sight. But as you can see, again, old school craftsmanship, beautiful hand checkered grips, lovely polyurethane finish on there, all high polished and flawless. Again, we have an action that just operates not quite as smoothly as the Medalist, but it is smoother than any Ruger or any Buckmark pistol today. Very precise, very tight fit. You can see on this side of the receiver it says caliber 22 long rifle, and then the patent number. And over on the other side it says Browning Arms Company, Morgan, Utah, and Montreal, made in Belgium. See some more of that lovely wood grain there, gold-plated trigger, and it has some little import stamps here and there.